Good evening, everyone. Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning. If we have not met, my name is Julian Galvis, and it is an absolute pleasure to meet you. And if we have met, you know what time it is? It is the Sunday coffee break today. Yesterday, I had a wedding to attend, but not just attend, to participate in. I was the best man. And I had to help, set up a little bit, right? Had to do the wedding, and then had to help tear down yesterday. So I didn't have a lot of time yesterday to myself, to say the least. But I still wanted to take time to do this video, okay? I still wanted time to have a coffee break, all right? But in this case, it is Sunday instead of Saturday. Always maintain your composure, you guys. Always maintain your composure in whatever situation you are in, or at least do your best to. Now, when I say always maintain your composure, what do you think comes to mind? What comes to mind when I say the words, always maintain your composure? Take about 10 seconds to think about that as I sip my coffee. Well, I hope you all have had time to consider that, to consider the term always maintain your composure and what it means to you, or in your experience, what has it meant? Well, to me, to always maintain my composure means to be rationally minded, to think with my rational mind, right, instead of with my emotions, to not think with my heart, right, but to think with here. Now, I'm not saying that, having a heart, right, and experiencing emotions is a bad thing. In fact, it's a very good thing. It's a very healthy thing. And it's a very normal thing to experience. But what I'm saying is, in our day-to-day lives, our careers, professional life, right, and in certain situations, stress scenarios, what have you, it's always good to maintain your composure, right? For men, we call it our frame. For women, it might have a different meaning or connotation, but let's just go with that, the frame, maintaining frame, okay? Now, I've been told that in certain situations, when the time comes for it, that you push your emotions aside, okay? Now, I'm not saying to never experience your emotions, to never, or to bury your emotions. In fact, don't do that. Don't bury your emotions, but experience them, but just a little bit later on, right? When the time calls for it, push them aside, maintain your composure, okay? Now, I've also been told of the term to always be classy, right? The class act always wins. And it does. If you're faced with a situation or a scenario where emotions are running rampant, right, where you're feeling it, and you want to react a certain way, it's always best to maintain your composure, to not internalize what's going on. At that moment, when the time calls for it, maintain your composure. Have that composure. Now, it's much easier said than done, you guys. And I'm not saying one bit that this is easy, but it's some of the most valuable advice that I've ever been given by my parents, loved ones, friends, family, and people older and wiser than me. Okay? Now, you've probably heard of the saying, the show must go on, right? Now, the show meaning theater, or in my experience, like when I hear that term, the show must go on, I think of theater, a play, okay, or maybe a movie, right? Something bad happened, whatever, something negative, right? Let's say on the set, part of the set was destroyed, or someone's family member got sick, right? Or the main actors, right? The main actor, his family member got sick, or friend died, or what have you. Sometimes the show must go on. And I'm not saying that you can't grieve. I'm not saying you can't experience that emotion. But there comes a time, there are times where the show must go on, and we must have our composure. And it's not fair. It's not fair in the least bit. Not fair at all. But in most cases, in fact, in all cases, we must maintain our composure, no matter what happens. Now take a little moment to think about a time, or two, or three, or more, where you had to maintain composure when every ounce in your body, your emotions were saying, no, I need to experience this in its full effect right now. Take a moment to think about where you maintained composure despite something that happened, whatever happened. Sip my coffee. Take a little moment, about 10 more seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. Now, I hope you had that time to think about a time where you have maintained composure. Now, I can think of a time. I won't share the details with it, but someone I once knew, they had passed on, but there was an obligation that I had to fulfill in that moment. And I did. I had to in that moment. The show had to go on, despite the tragedy. I maintained my composure, and then I experienced the emotion. Our bodies, or our minds, have a very, very interesting way of controlling our bodies, or being able to push our emotions aside, or being able to push our bodies to limits that we never thought possible. But, once more, it's much easier said than done to maintain composure, but we must do it. We must do it in any situation, every situation, where we think that we need to act on emotion. Take a step back, breathe. Never forget to breathe. That's something that is something I always remind myself, is to breathe, or count to 10, or take any emotion that I have and put it somewhere positive, instead of letting it spiral down in control, or out of control. Once more, I ask all of you to think about a time where you maintained composure. Or, if that's never happened, think about a time where, or in the future, think about a time where you will handle a situation better because of the way you will maintain your composure. That's something I'm going to think about too before I go to sleep tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, or morning, or evening, wherever you are. Once more, my name is Julian Gelvis. This was the Sunday coffee break, not Saturday coffee break, but today was the Sunday coffee break. I hope you guys have obtained something of value from this. And I sincerely hope that we will cross paths once more. This is Julian, and I'm signing off. Happy Sunday.